for a parliamentary seat in Kimilili. We need people who will come out to work. And I'm glad that even as we speak, there are many volunteers. We have given this challenge in many forums before, and I want to be glad. I want to say that I am happy because there are so many Kenyans who are coming out. Young people of the former generations, actually people across the ages. But I am specifically happy because I've gotten even very young people, even my Gen Z students at the university and all over, coming out and telling me, what can we do? Can we be able to come together? Can we be able to form a movement? What can we do to get there? That's a question I really like the way young people are now taking it up. And I want to pose that challenge even to us right now, that don't just sit and relax. If you think there's something you can do, Morara is already doing a lot of work. But we know that to get into politics, there's a lot of organization that needs to go into it. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of policy and planning that goes into it. So right now, we need more volunteers to come out. I am happy to be part of a group of young people who are already coming out and saying we are doing something to be able to identify emerging leadership, people who have interest in getting into leadership and want to do it with integrity, and we want to come together. We want to identify them. We want to train them. We want to mentor them. We want to literally radicalize them into the spirit of the revolution that made us to put our lives on the line going to the streets. So that when we get in there, we must get in there in mass. I like the way the title says, grand takeover. If we just send a few people, they will be corrupted by the system because the system is so deeply rooted in status quo. We cannot manage, because that's why I disagreed in a space before by some people who are telling other young people and discouraging them that, if you want to go into politics, go independent. Or there are many political parties in Kenya, go and join some of them. Who tells you that as a young person you can go into ODM or UDA and they'll give you a platform? We have seen this existing old political system kill the dreams and aspirations of many upcoming leaders who could have been able to put some integrity and professionalism into our governance. So we need fresh minds, those fresh minds to come together, work together. This is the time for us to be able to put away all our differences. Anything that divides us, we do not accept. We come together, we team up, we do the heavy lifting. There's a lot. When you see the UDA as a political party at the national level...
I request you take the next 30 seconds to land. We are calling every speaker 3 minutes. That way we can be able to ensure we have all the speakers contributing to effective conversation. Thank you, Dr. 30 seconds, please. Please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I was just landing by saying that let us come out. If you want to be part of a movement of people who are doing the heavy lifting, to move us from the talk so that we can be able to do something and build those systems that carry us into the next election, please let us team up together, contact KOT, contact the host. I'm sure through networks here we will be able to team up so that we can be able to do something. You can also inbox me if you have if you are like-minded. I will link you up to people I know of in this movement who are already doing something to work towards the heavy lifting that will lead us into the next election. Thank you very much, and may God bless Kenya.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. KOT, with your permission, I would like to invite Grace to the audience to be able to speak to us. Grace, kindly proceed.
Good evening to you. First, I want to thank Morara for the good work he's doing. And I want to tell you, we are here to support you. Personally, I had texted you on TikTok and told you I would like to join the movement. I've been doing the civic education on TikTok. Atolonde herself, the legend beat, and I believe you've seen some of my videos as well. So we want to take all these things to the ground.
Hello, Grace, 1 minute. I'm sorry that you texted me on TikTok, and did I reply? Could you confirm? Okay, I'm so sorry that I didn't reply. I have more than 2,000 messages on TikTok, but now that you've spoken it, I've noted your name down, Takutaputa. I'm so sorry that I didn't reply.
Okay, so as I continue, for me, I believe you're a leader. And I want you to take this bull by the head and let us elect you as the president of Kenya. And when we are doing this, because we want change, so change begins with both of all of us, and you're the David of our times. RUTO is the Goliath of today. So I believe all of you know the story, and we can beat this government. When you hang out, when you talk to people, talk as the president of Kenya, because that is now who we are viewing you to be. So personally, I'll take part. I'll walk to those places as I usually do. I do it at a very small level, but I can go to my village and do the same, the civic education, so that we may be able to improve on our leadership. Thank you, Morara, for the good work that you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Grace, for sharing with us. And of course, I'd like to encourage who have joined us today. We also want to hear from you. Take this chance to give it to Farah. 3 minutes, kindly, Farah.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear. 3 minutes, please. Okay.
Thank you. I don't think even I'll finish 3 minutes. Mine one is some advice to Morara. Recently, you said you are going to maybe sell your furniture business to help with the movement and everything. But I'd like to tell you one thing, kindly, my brother. Hii unatufanyia, utajitolea yote. Your private life, let it be private, because we don't know what's there in the future. Inaweza kaingiana, inaweza kuingiana, and in case you might have put all your eggs in one basket because of kuingiana. That is why we end up with political harlotry, whereby you cannot have leaders you trust because they are not financially stable themselves. So kindly, najua unaweza kuwa umejipanga vingine, but those are my 2 cents on that subject. The other thing is, Morara cannot be divided into every sector in this nation. And he took up the challenge on infrastructural and stalled developmental projects. And we need people to take up other challenges as well, because we have a very antagonistic nature with the National Police Service. And these are people who are suffering the same way we are. We need somebody going across the country if possible, and trying to build this bridge and show that we are oppressed by the same people. We are not enemies. Pharaoh did not directly fight Moses. He used the sorcerers. And they shouldn't be Pharaoh's sorcerers. And that's what we also try to do within the religious space, because together with Kenya Daima and Kina Shakira, we've been having meetings with the Interreligious Council of Kenya and National Muslim Leaders Forum, because for you to convince me that God loves me, inakuwa ngumu kidogo if the same people who are killing, maiming, murdering us are the same people addressing us from the pulpits for what you're doing.
Thank you, Farah, for that. I don't know what is happening. We seem to have lost both KOT and myself from the co-host, so unable to add or drop more speakers. We'll go to the next speaker here. We have Sajo. But before Sajo, I see Gen Z has their hand up. Let's call them the opportunity, and then we'll go to data science, and then Sajo in that order. 3 minutes each, kindly.
Okay, good evening. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, my name is Samuel Kinothia, and I'm a software developer. So, I have a few ideas, mainly three, so they should take that 3 minutes allocated. So, this movement, from my point of view, is youth-led, and since our country is a majority youth, it should come out as an advantage. So I think using that, we should be able to drive political change and to drive out corruption. So what ideas do I have? Number one, we need to mainly target the youth, and we need to target them from the ground up. And for us to do that, we need something that will unify us. So I suggest maybe a political party, a movement, but somewhere people can register, somewhere people can put some stake in. So once you put everyone in the group and we put in the youth, we start registering on ward level. Once we start registering on the ward level, it should be easy for us to move on easier. Number two, we need to also engage university students and high schoolers. I feel like if you calculate the people in Form 2 that currently in 2027 will be able to vote. So if you target them early on, you sell them the message, because in high school, most of us were not thinking of what is the political space, what is happening in the country. If you target the people in high school at the moment, you register them to whatever movement that we have formed, they will come out ready. By the time now it comes to vote, you vote in your own people. Of course, now also using the movement, you do mass voter registration. Of course, now if you can do it immediately, a person leaves high school, it's one of the first things they do. Or for the university students also, because as we have seen, they have a lot of grievances. You pull in the leaders so that they sell the movement to their own individual schools. So in conclusion, we also need to focus on tribal unity, because if we become a threat, the first thing these people will target is to divide us tribally on our tribal basis. So if we could just target maybe youth in every single tribe, like you have some Somali guy that just pushes the Somali narrative to the Somali youth, so that by the time a person comes to say, oh, huyu si mtu wetu, huyu ni mtu wetu, you've already countered that, because they can see their face in the movement. They can see, you do not have to have like a leader or what, but at least have a face in every region. That's why let's register something registered, so that everyone can put in some skin, so that once these young people start looking at, this is our person, because we tend to forget that a lot of people in this country are not educated. So it makes them very easy to be manipulated and bought with this 50 bob, 20 bob. So we need to counter that. They need to be shown that there's a different way that things can work. That is all. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mjenzi. Okay, Keoti, you're back, and we apologize for that mishap. My colleagues were having an issue with the connection. We kept dropping off. But Mjenzi, after you, will go to the next speaker who had queued up, and that was data scientist, if I'm not wrong, followed by Sir Joe. So let's do this. We have 3 minutes, and there are some questions that Morara had asked us to try and respond to, including political financing of campaigns and what have you. So if we can have this impetus for us to have that conversation, we really appreciate, so that we know how do we figure out the next step moving forward, even into 2027, if that's what it has to take to go into the next government. Dr. Scientist, the mic is yours. Kindly proceed.
Thank you for the mic, Ms. My name is Makenya. I'm a Kenyan, and then to proceed, I want to recommend my brother Keoti, my brother Morara, and each and every one of you have just showed up here to just convene this in the grand takeover of politics 10 and the experiment after. Before I joined this place, I sent Morara I sent him some screenshot and with some message. I think it's quite long, and I'll urge him to go through it after I finish this. So I want to tell you guys that power is never given. Like power is never given, and we have to take it from the tyrant. And from the look of things, our guy, the president, is so consistent in whatever he does. The same way we believe that Satan exists, the same way that God exists. So if we're not gonna work for us, it means that evil is gonna take over us. Like most of us are not going to get the opportunity to have the freedom of free speech. The first speaker who spoke, I think he was trying to sell fear to our brother. There's something we need to understand that the fear of death is just the fear of that's the beginning of not wanting to live. And then as of now, I don't think we're supposed to fear anything, because most of us are we have been placed hopeless. They just want us to be where they want us to be, and we're not supposed to buy that. So now to wrap it up, I don't want to take a lot of time. I don't want Morara to check whatever I sent you. Personally, I'm from Ponchadi, and then during the elections, I happened to be the guy drafting the manifesto for my area MP. But whatever I did that. I don't think it's resonating with what that was written there. To proceed, I don't think I have a job. I work as a freelance with different companies that are offering this gig. So right now, why it's not for the opportunity that God has given us to have opportunities where we are feeling desperate. I think most of us would have gotten suicidal, because it's the brain that kills someone. To finish it, I want us to act not fearful. Let's not be afraid of the whole idea that we are going to be killed. Because what does it count in not to live? When you're dead, you're dead. And the fear of death is just the fear of just your realization that you know something, but you don't know something. So that's all I can say for now. And I want to recommend you guys, don't be so fear. And life is for the living. And if you're not living, step up.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Sergio, you had been queued. Are you still here? But I see you dropped. So, let me have a lady, and then I'll go to Ayo. Maureen, you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you please take your 3 minutes, share with us what you feel, and give us the way forward, of course.
Yeah. Let me start by saying kudos to Morara and Keoti and Mizani. I think for this movement to succeed, we must look at every aspect of our life. We must look at education. We must, CBC, it's bad for the kids. So if we're rejecting anything bad, we must reject in totality. SHIF is bad. Yani, we talk about everything, health, education, kila kitu, we encompass every sector of our lives, so that hii movement ishike kila pahali, ishike kila mtu. That is what I can start by saying. And also concerning the financing for the campaigns, I think whatever Morara has been doing by asking Kenyans to contribute, I think that's the best step, because Babu, tukicontributia Morara, we are supporting the cause. Ni kama we own him. Si atakuwa owned by the politicians when you watampe small monies or change allegiance. So supporting Morara by sending money to those who can, that's the best strategy. I think there also has to be formal channels, the accountability on how the money, ndo kusikwe na hizi kasheshe za watu wanasema ni kujitajirisha, kukwe na structures, ndo ikwe if this money is for this campaign, if it's for this project. Hii movement si ya sahi tu, ni ya prosperity. Mwana venye Kasmuel amekuwa akiwork with social justice centers in Githurai, in Mathare. That's what we want. Kitu ya for now and for future. So isikuwe tu ni kitu ya sahi ya movement, ikwe kama ni inaitwaje, kama kati song, inafaa ikwe for now prosperity. Mona venye Bangladesh, after the revolution, people are out in the streets, cleaning the streets, controlling traffic. Yani inafekwe, as Kenyans, we think of what we want for our society, na tufanye hivyo. If we want cleaner streets, we do it, because babu serikali itatufanyia. If you want this system to work, we see how we can change it. I think that's what I can say for now. As in, kila mtu contribute pali uko, if chenye unaona unaweza fanya for a better country, you do it, because hii serikali ya RUTO haitaitusaidia. It's not here to help us, it's not here to serve us. Come on, you see the way they are changing from NHIF to SHIF. They're not doing it because wanatupenda sana, wanataka tupone, or they care for our lives. No, they are doing it because they want to steal money. They don't care about us. The faster we realize that, ndo tutatoka kwa hii situation yenye tuko. Tujue they are not here to serve us. Alafu the other thing I want to talk about is the way we should ostracize the politicians from our platforms. Sijui kwa nini politician anaingia kwa kanisa and we allow them to speak. As in, politician akianza kuongea, we're supposed to walk out. Tunaketi tunasikiza nini? They don't speak for us, they don't act for us. Why should we listen to them? Akianza kuongea, we step out because probably they don't listen to us. Mbona sisi tuwasikize? That is my 2 cents for now. I think kila mtu ajitolee pali yako, we change Kenya for the better.
Okay.
Thank you, KOT and Morara.
Okay, thank
and
you so
Mizani,
much.
of course.
Okay, thank you so much, Maureen. And I think, guys, we want to see change in this nation, yeah? And of course, if we want to see change, then we are the people who should now come out in large numbers to bring the change you want to see. Yeah? Remember, change can only come if we are at the cooking table. Yeah, if we are at the center of this table, and of course, I'm not asking us to join those greedy politicians. Yeah, we can begin ourselves, people who are eligible to vie and bring change. As long as you know yourself that you can bring change, as long as you have the interest of the people, let us come out in large numbers. Let us vie for these political seats. Let us go to the parliament, because the last time we occupied the parliament, as the citizens of this Kenya, I mean as common mwananchi. But I want us to occupy this parliament as the members of parliament, we the young people, because we've seen where the loophole is. Yeah, I saw Morara yesterday when he was in Isiolo. Yeah, people are used to nipeka kitu kadogo. So they were seeing Morara as just a politician, and so they were like, tupatie kitu kidogo. Yeah, I saw it on the timeline ya nani, the lawyer, that guy. And so guys, I think we need to change this narrative. And so I had queued Ayo, but Ayo kindly I want you to hold on kiasi. I want to give X holding. Ayo, just hold on kiasi. X holding. Welcome.
Yes, you can hear me.
Yeah, sure, bro.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. And I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to thank Morara for the things he's done. I think this is the second time I'm talking to him on this basis. And thank you, keep doing the good work. You started lightly, and the momentum you're gaining, keep doing what you're doing and do it rightfully. I had topics, sorry, I was not at the beginning, so I might have missed some, but for those which I've had, there's this is my honest or my personal opinion, and I say that I will support Morara in means that I can or that I have, and I will defend him because of the good work. I don't care. People do other things that may not. You are not going to please everybody. It's not the purpose of pleasing people. It's the purpose of doing what is right. It's the purpose of telling people the truth. And I had tweeted earlier in the day that whatever Morara is doing is the only thing that can bring us together again, having a common goal of failed projects of failed government. Because if you remember, the very first mandamano that was successful is rejected. We had a common bill. We had a common goal, which is the reject bill. The follower, those that followed individual hashtag or MOH, Occupy, were not successful because we are not united by one goal. People, you could see there's a mistake somewhere, but somebody is okay with it. But whatever Morara is doing is not affecting Nairobi or rather Kisii, his own county. He's going yesterday he was in Isiolo and picking on the project of every county. So he is able, if we get support, we'll be able to unite to support Morara under one goal. And then on financing or whatever, I don't think there's any place Morara was demanding for support. It's come from heart, just like we did the medical bills and everything. You see somebody, of course, good work needs to be rewarded. It takes fuel, and it took him long before he came asking for support and everything. But then you have to understand, among us, kuna people that don't like good things. Kuna people that don't see progress, or the other people just don't, and wale tu wanataka to keep back in the same place. Because tell me, like the other week when he was trying to fix public administration, somebody have a problem with it. You think like, what is it that you like and can appreciate and support? So this is ndogo tusikue na isikuchoshe ama isikudistract from the goal. What I'd suggest that when you need funding, just say I need support. Don't respond to that. Let other people, small people like us, deal with those smaller group of people, fraction of people. You focus on the goal and keep doing. You've been doing it with your own money, and so far you are still, even the money aside, there's sacrifice and individual. Look, if you kazi 2 days imechoka, I leave rest for 2 weeks, then you find 2 days. You get. So do the good work and let's concentrate on the important things that will bring us together. Sorry to bring this, but not related really to Morara. Like what is happening the very minute I'm speaking here, we have like 3 parallel groups. Like what's going on? You get those 2 small things. It's more of a, I understand everybody are gonna right to do whatever they want, but it's like kuna ni kama tension, like a friction flani ama ka flani to be on the front, which is just fine. But let us identify gani kati hizo mingi zina ukweli ama zina mwelekeo yenye watu wengi wanaweza fuata. You get? Not to take anything away from any other person, but let me add to Morara, tuangalie kila. This guy has gone to my own county. The other time alikuwa Kuala Road, I was in Ambira. I believe you passed by Ambira. You get? That road has been like that for ages. To my home county, Siaya. And honestly, when I sit here, I'm not proud to come from Siaya because if you compare that county with other counties, Kochini. Yesterday I saw other county, Ivo. So tell me the reason why to support you, Jamal. And tell me the reason why we should fight this Jamal. So let's do the right thing. Let's try and have a common goal and let's focus. This is zingine ndogo, sijui mara part gani, sijui wacha. No. Anyway, we are waiting to go wengi. If somebody feels that is not addressed, chukua safari, tupatane mbele. I think in 2 months ago, Morara was not as popular as he is today. But because of the good work, inakuweka kwa your screen, because of what you do, because it does something. Hata kama hiyo project Isiolo ilikuwa anadanganya, somebody else can go back there and verify. Huyu jamaa hii project amesema ni ukweli ama ni uongo. So we have to support what is right and let us stop fighting. I'll speak again.
Thank you very much, X Holding. So I see we're almost at the top of the hour and the number of speakers waiting to speak. So be patient with us. We'll try as much as possible to engage each and every one of you. But I see yours 6,000 and among others who are commoners of these spaces. If you allow me, we have Tekla online. We also have Nothing who has been waiting. We'll give them the first priority and then we'll come back to all of you to make the contribution. So, Morara, your mic is on. You want to say something?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, sir.
So for those who are joining us now, I'd provided some direction on how the conversation should be shaped, and I'd like to give that direction again, so that when you come on the space, we end up having a useful conversation. So this is the backdrop. This is the background. Hapa Kenya, the young people and professionals, wale ambao wanaweza kusaidia nchi yetu, most of them believe politics is a dirty game. And they believe that politics is not meant for them. So essentially what has happened is that we've surrendered our politics to idiots and to criminals who are drug dealers, who are money launderers, who are sex traffickers, thieves, entrepreneurs, beneficiaries of corruption. Those are the kind of characters that we have in our elective institutions, in our appointive institutions, and most sadly, even in the State House. So now, we would like to change the leadership of our country because we have a very, very beautiful constitution, but now we have very, very poor quality of people to head institutions. Remember, you can have a very good law about IPOA, Independent Police Oversight Authority. But remember that this word independent, apart from the independence that is given in the law, this person himself heading the institution or part of that institution has also to decide to be independent. Look at what the fools at TSC did, the Teacher Service Commission. Teacher Service Commission is supposed to be an independent commission under the Constitution. It doesn't even take instructions from the Ministry of Education. But the fools over there have been giving members of parliament letters of appointment of teachers. So you find a member of parliament in a funeral with 10 letters belonging to teachers. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the problem is not the law, because the law creating Teacher Service Commission is very solid and very nice. The problem is the kind of characters and fools that we've put in those institutions. Therefore, what incentive do we have to attract people of integrity, young, middle-aged, and old, to come into leadership? Secondly, how do they stand a chance against the billionaires who have looted our public funds and who have benefited from the theft of our natural resources? So let me give you a hypothetical example. You have Morara Kebaso running against William RUTO. How exactly do you expect Morara to stand a chance? Yes, of course, you want him to come on board and change Kenya. But how exactly do you expect this person to even stand a chance in that election? And then I spoke about keeping these people accountable, surrounding them with love and with advice, and then campaigning for them, doing the little things that matter a lot. I've also talked about campaign financing, which is unregulated in Kenya, and where we need to think about how exactly should these people be able to run for those offices. The other thing is we need to talk about civic education, changing the mind of the voter so that the voter is no longer commercialized or attracted to money, but rather attracted to ideas. How do we convert the mind of the voter? Then lastly, and very lastly, we have to talk about voter registration. How do we get more people to have IDs? How do we get them to register as voters? And second, how do we ensure that their vote counts? What is this thing that we can do on election day to prevent voter suppression and intimidation and rigging? So, and many more things that I've forgotten. But otherwise, the whole topic should revolve around draining the swamp and replacing criminals with leaders of integrity, the strategy.
All right, thank you very much, Morara, for that. I think we are equally guided on the contribution because we are seeking to really have a fruitful chat out of this. And for that, I think we can now proceed with the next set of speakers. Thank you for joining the Consortium Mwananchi. We are looking at the grand takeover of politics to drain and expel debt. How do we do that? And what can we do to encourage more young people into this bracket of political leadership? Tekla, the mic is yours. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. I hope you all can hear me. Thank you, Morara, Kioti, Mizani, and everyone around here. So for me, the first thing is the politicians have enablers around. And by enablers, I mean we have people who provide oversight, and that is things like EACC, IPOA. They are the enablers, main enablers of these politicians. Because if a politician is suspected or is sentenced for corruption, we have the ODPP and the EACC going back to the courts to withdraw the cases from the court. So I feel like as much as we are targeting the politicians, we also need to target these organizations that are meant to provide oversight, but have been infiltrated by these same politicians who we are trying to fight. So I don't even understand why we have religious leaders in organizations such as ACC. What do they do there? We have religious leaders in the whole category of people who are supposed to choose the IBC commissioners. Why are they there? I mean, we have a very clear constitution, but the person who is supposed to protect the constitution is the greatest abuser of it, and we need to fight against that. And then also with regards to what we are fighting, and that is bad governance, we need to make our fight personal. Like I, as Tekla, I need to make this fight personal and go for what is choking me so much in this government, be it healthcare, be it bad roads, be it education. If we can achieve it, if every one of us takes our civic duty to fight for what we see is bad. And then, as Morara had said about funds are everything. It's really important for him to have enough funds to do all that he does. And also with funds comes accountability. And we have a lot of professionals in Kenya. We have lawyers, we have medics, we have engineers. And I saw Morara was setting up an office. And I feel like we Kenyans who are inclined to this movement can provide pro bono services. Before everything is set up and running 100%, we can provide whoever is probably an engineer and is supposed to guide. Okay, like it's supposed to set standards on how Kenya is supposed to be working, can provide pro bono services in the office. So if that is provided, then it brings down the costs, and also it gives that person a voice in the movement, and you kind of own the movement if you provide those services. So I feel like offering pro bono services is going to be a good step for the movement, and also working with existing bodies. As it was mentioned, we have the movements or the organizations in the MTAs. We can work with the existing bodies to get into the ground, because most of these justice centers, those are places where most of us access civic education materials. That is where we meet most of the leaders in the community. So we can find a way to work with the existing bodies to penetrate more. Because I mean, it's only easy if someone is able to access somewhere that they feel is, it's familiar. And then we need to empower Kenyans to take up the civic duty, because many of us feel like, as they said, politics is a dirty game. So I don't see the reason why I should wake up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock to go and vote. And then that is with regards to grassroots civic education, working with the leaders in the community, because Morara cannot be in Kisumu and Nairobi and Mombasa and all over the country in a single day. We need to work actively with the people on the ground who have the same, mindset with the movement, and that is going to help. And that we're not targeting a specific age group, because whatever is happening in Kenya right now is affecting everyone from 0 to 100. We need to change that narrative of this is only affecting the young, or we are only targeting the young. We need to work with everyone who is able to get an ID. And as Professor had made this movement personal by going to fight for IDs, that is one huge problem. And I keep on saying, make this movement personal. Take up what is affecting you most, and with that I believe we can work towards it, and all of us are out here to see Morara win. It's a very good initiative, and thank you so much for starting it. Yeah, that's it. And then we need to fight against misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation because of lack of these accessibility issues.
to, like the Constitution. People don't understand the Constitution as well as it should be. So one thing about accessibility, we need to, do the civic education and just fight against misinformation. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tekla. Under a minute, Tekla, if you may. Yes.
She has said something very profound that I just want to add something on. She said that we have a lot of misinformation and disinformation because people have not read the Constitution. And I've been at the forefront of trying to fight for the Constitution to be translated to local languages so that even wamama wazee huko nyumbani waisome vile wanasomanga Biblia hiyo yenye imetranslatiwa kwa language yao. On that leg, I'd like to say something here. Since we are 3,000 people here, and 3,000 people means that if everybody talks to 10 people, we'll have talked to 30,000 people by the end of the day. Tafadhalini, kuna hiyo kitu mnasema dio, sijui to be a president in Kenya, you have to be 35 years and above. Please go and forget that thing completely. That thing was in the previous constitution. It's no longer in the new constitution. Tell at least 10 people that that thing is not there. Because it's discouraging many young people who can want even to be president. Not even myself. There are many people have presidential ambitions, but they think that they must be 35. Please help them understand that that is not true. What is true is that you have to be above 18 years old. You have to be an undischarged bankrupt. You should not have been bankrupted by that time. You should not be convicted of a criminal offense exceeding 6 months. You should possess higher education, that's university degree, and many other. You can go and read the qualifications for election as a president. They are on the IEBC website, and they are also in the Constitution. So please make sure you demystify that.
Thank you very much, Morara. And actually, that is interesting because people have been talking about everything and anything without really anchoring on specifics. But I believe as we move the conversation forward, we'll be able to identify the gaps and address them effectively. I wanted to engage Tekla for under a minute and ask her, Tekla, why is this change very important to you at an individual